If in doubt, make a mess. That's the mantra most of the characters in this episode of And Just Like That seem to be living by, as they race towards the season finale. So grab yourself a hazmat suit, like and subscribe, and let's see if we can find a bit of sense somewhere under all this crap. Despite Carrie's best intentions, there's trouble in paradise this week. And that trouble begins with Aiden's youngest son, Wyatt. He's a plain-fearing, sour little dork whose whole vibe suggests that the police will one day have to disarm a booby trap on his bedroom door to recover his manifesto. And boy howdy does he hate Carrie. Not that it's without basis, of course, but he's only 14 and therefore probably doesn't know the half of it. If he thinks that she's the worst now, wait until he finds out what she does when a guy proposes to her. The trouble continues when Aiden's terminal desire to be liked by everyone flags up to Che's building that he and Carrie have breached the apartment's lease by subletting. Someone on the show also decided that we were overdue a shot of John Corbett in tidy whities. Which we were not. In need of somewhere else to live, and still unable to use Carrie's apartment due to Aiden's irrational fear that he'll catch emotional warts, Miss Bradshaw seeks out Seema's help. Before long, she finds an enormous 2-floor replacement with room for Aiden's entire family. And, I would hope, a caged basement for Wyatt. We get a whiff of the old Carrie here, flinging herself headlong into objectively insane lifestyle changes in service of a man. Aiden has been back on the scene for a matter of weeks, and she's already buying property and selling her old apartment like New York just announced a cull of single women when they hit 60. She also has an encounter with Aiden's ex-wife Kathy, who politely requests that Carrie doesn't screw Aiden over again and keeps her kids out of any future self-involved scrawlings. Which is probably going to prove difficult considering that at least one of them is clearly being set up as a wrecking ball for Miss Bradshaw's Aiden ever after. Sex and the City set trends in fashion, and just like that is going to wind up responsible for an irreversible drop in birth rates. Mark my words. This week in Who Gives a Shit news, Ravi and his wandering English accent drags Seema around a series of potential apartments, a ruse for him to spend more time with her. His decision is made for him when their inevitable first bang is almost interrupted by Ryan from $1 Million Listing New York, who's trying his best. Hey, at least it wasn't Frederick. Harry gets a taste of what it's like to be Charlotte when he arranges an event for pal Herbert's political campaign, and gets snookered by the seemingly complex world of catering. 3 trays of Costco sandwiches, a crate of champagne, and force anyone who complains to discuss privilege with the kids. Simple. Speaking of Herbert, he fails to correctly interpret Lisa's sudden narcolepsy and winds up blindsided by her appallingly timed, and honestly, low-key vindictive announcement that she's pregnant. And now I'm the one falling asleep. Naya's random Tinder hookup can't swipe away the shock of seeing ex-husband Andre and busted Shania Twain knockoff Heidi's pregnancy announcement. I say count your blessings. That thing is going to stroll right out of her wearing a tiny beanie and singing an off-key Taylor Swift cover. And Che meets new love interest Toby, who invites them to reach inside their box. To retrieve stray kittens. Calm down, YouTube. Unfortunately, this inspires Che to get back into stand-up, setting in motion some truly rancid stuff for next episode. And I don't just mean the lazy punchlines. Lucky us, we get a bit of a crossover this week when Miranda and Charlotte's lives collide in the grossest way possible. Brady is still not interested in college, and Miranda is mortally offended at the idea of him working in the service industry. despite the likelihood that her entire life would collapse in a single morning if the staff of her local Starbucks quit en masse to go get their degrees. She convinces Charlotte to enlist Lily's help, since the eldest Goldenblatt Sprog is apparently super focused on further education. When she's not writing music that could cause more seizures than a 90s episode of Pokemon, or forcing her mother to compete in a low-budget amazing race centered around poop balloons, that is. Lily does help Brady, though not in the way that either of their parents intended, as Miranda discovers when she catches her leaving his room early in the morning, sans pants. Charlotte does a bad job of hiding how horrified she is at the thought of Carrot Top having a go on her eldest.
What?
Which isn't cool, but is, let's be honest, understandable in light of who we know Brady to be. Imagine thinking you've just had a great time in bed, only to find that what's dripping onto your face is the guy's tears. Great Value, Cagney and Lacey decide to sleuth their way to the truth at Herbert's party, skulking around the kitchen doing rubbish body language analysis like a pair of interns the FBI found on Facebook Marketplace. Although, with the way Max is going, I wouldn't be surprised if they got their own mid-season spin-off. Ultimately, they agree that they'd sooner not know what's going on between their hellspawn, which has the added benefit of us not hearing about, or, God forbid, seeing any more of it. My therapy bill from this show is already high enough. While I am pleased that Anthony's getting more airtime, and just like that, still hasn't quite got the hang of doing anything with it that has a ring of truth. For example, after several dates, Giuseppe would like to share his ring of truth with Mr. Marantino, but isn't getting anywhere. The former Mr. Blatch is shy, apparently, as evidenced by his Liza Minnelli wedding and recent appearance on daytime TV. The real reason that Anthony is reluctant to take things any further turns out to be his fear that Giuseppe and his generously proportioned nethers are targeting older men in search of a green card, which in this universe appears to preclude having your insides feng shuied in the meantime. Giuseppe eventually reveals that he's a dual citizen, which is all Anthony needs to hear before helping himself to a heaping portion of Italian sausage. The venue for which is, hilariously, Rock and Lily's room, which I take to be revenge for putting up with 17 years of their shit. Much like some of Stanny's exploits in Sex and the City, there's a hint of showrunner wish fulfillment running through all of this, but I'm not mad at it. The original series had about as much authentic gay representation as the Westboro Baptist Church, so I'll take what I can get. Last video's top comment came courtesy of James Monaghan, who agreed that Carrie and Aiden's grim fairy tale isn't convincing anyone. Who knows, maybe in season 3, Grandma will finally get eaten by a wolf. This video's question is, have you ever had a problem with a partner's family? Or have they ever had a problem with you? Sound off in the comments below and the best will interfere with our relationship next time. Either way, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, if you can't be good, be crusty.